Chapter 1. Computer, a smart machine. Overview of this chapter. History of computers. Evolution of computer generations. Types of computers. A computer is an electronic device capable of receiving, storing, and processing data to produce meaningful information. It can perform calculations and execute various tasks based on the instructions provided. History of computers. Computers have undergone significant transformations over the past few decades. In the past, computers were so large that they needed a whole room to fit. They were much bigger than the ones we have today, but with the ever-changing technological world, a computer has been reduced from a bulky machine to as small as that of a notebook. Let us read about some of the calculating devices used in the earlier times. 5000 BC abacus. The full form of ABACUS is Abundant Beads Addition and Calculation Utility System. It was most likely invented in Babylon, now Iraq, over 5,000 years ago, but its use was perfected by Chinese. It was mainly used to perform simple calculations such as counting, addition, and subtraction. It was constructed as a wooden frame with beads sliding on wires or rods. The upper portion of abacus is called heaven and its lower part is called earth. Do you know? China is one of the countries where the abacus is widely used. The Chinese version of an abacus is popularly known as the swan pan. Napier's bones. Napier's bones, invented by a Scottish mathematician named John Napier in 1617, were a tool used to make multiplication and division much faster. It was developed to speed up the long multiplication and division. It performed multiplication with repeated addition and division with repeated subtraction. It even calculated square roots. Napier's bones were made from rectangular sticks with numbers on them. The sticks could be made of bone, ivory, wood or metal. Pascal adding machine. The Pascaline, invented by a French mathematician named Blaise Pascal, was one of the first machines that could add and subtract numbers. It used gears and dials to work, and the numbers were shown on the dials. Analytical engine. Charles Babbage was an English mathematician who invented the analytical engine in 1837. The analytical engine was much more than a calculator. It had 5 units: input, output, store, meal, and control. Computers have 5 main parts: store, meal, control, input, and output. The store holds information. The meal does calculations. The control tells the parts what to do. The input takes in information, and the output shows the results. It was used for tax calculations and was one of the first calculators to be used for work. Do you know? Charles Babbage is considered the father of modern computers. Evolution of computer generations. First generation, 1940s to 1950s. First generation computers were enormous, occupying entire rooms. They relied on vacuum tubes, which were similar to light bulbs, to process information. Features of first generation computers. Power-hungry and fragile, vacuum tubes generated significant heat and were prone to failure, requiring frequent maintenance. Limited capabilities, early computers could perform basic arithmetic operations and simple calculations, but their applications were severely restricted. Specialized use, they were primarily used for scientific research and military applications. Expensive and rare, computers were incredibly expensive and accessible only to large institutions and governments. Slow and inefficient, due to the slow processing speed of vacuum tubes, these computers were significantly slower. Example, ENIAC, one of the first large computers, could only do basic calculations but was very important for science. Do you know? The first computer which ran the first graphical computer game, named BB, was EDSAC. Second generation, 1950s to 1960s. Features of second-generation computers: smaller and more reliable, transistors replaced vacuum tubes, leading to a significant reduction in size and improved reliability. Increased speed and efficiency, transistors operated faster and generated less heat than vacuum tubes, resulting in improved performance. Programming advancements. The development of assembly language made programming easier and more efficient compared to machine language. Expanding applications, computers began to be used for business applications such as payroll processing, inventory management, and accounting. Commercial availability, computers started to become more commercially available, although they were still expensive for most individuals. Example, IBM 7090, which was used by big companies for business and science. Third generation, 1960s to 1970s. Features of third generation computers. Integrated circuits revolution. The invention of integrated circuits, ICs, revolutionized computer technology by packing multiple transistors onto a single chip. Size and cost reduction. ICs led to a dramatic reduction in size and cost, making computers more accessible. Interactive computing. Terminals and keyboards allowed users to interact with computers in real time, enabling more interactive applications. Commercial success. Computers became widely adopted by businesses and organizations for a variety of tasks. Example, IBM System 360, a powerful computer that could do many different tasks. Fourth generation, 1970s present. Features of fourth generation computers. Personal computers, microprocessors made computers small enough to use at home. Fun and games, people could play games, use the internet, and do other fun things on their computers. Colorful screens, computers started having colorful screens, making them more fun to use. Do you know? UNIVAC. I was the first computer to handle both numeric and textual data. Fifth generation, present and beyond. Features of fifth generation computers. Smart computers. These computers can learn and think like humans, thanks to artificial intelligence, AI. Helpful assistants. They can help you with tasks like driving cars or answering questions. Future tech. We're still exploring what computers can do next, like solving really hard problems. Types of computers. Computers can be classified into many types with respect to their capacity and cost. Microcomputers. Microcomputers are small computers that people can use at home, school, or in the office. They are also called personal computers, PCs. Microcomputers are much smaller and cheaper than the large computers used by big companies. For example, smartphones, tablets, laptops, etc. Key features of microcomputers: portable, you can easily carry them around. Fast, they are very quick. Efficient, they use energy wisely. Storage, they can store lots of information. Connected, they can connect to the internet. Do you know? The principle of a modern computer was proposed in a newspaper by Alan Turing. He proved that a machine is capable of computing anything by executing instructions known as programs stored on a tape. The first palm-top computers were the DIP, Pocket PC, and the Atari Portfolio, which were made available to the users from 1989. Drawbacks: limited power, might not be as powerful as big computers for some tasks. Smaller screens are smaller than on big computers. Battery life, need to charge them regularly. Mini computers. Mini computers are small machines that can be accommodated on a small space disk. These are generally used by small businesses and firms. Mini computers are also called as mid-range computers as they are cheap in price. For example, Texas Instrument TI-990, K202. Mainframe computers. Mainframe computers are like really big computers that can store a lot of information. They're used by big companies for important things like running businesses and keeping track of lots of data. For example, IBM Z series, Fujitsu GS21 series, Unisys ClearPath, IBM System 360. Key features: reliability. Mainframe computers are designed to be highly reliable and can operate for long periods. Scalability. They can be easily expanded to handle increasing workloads and data volumes. Supercomputers. Supercomputers are the most powerful computers in terms of performance and data processing. These are generally used by large organizations as they are very specialized and task-specific computers. For example, Cray 1, Cray 2, and Titan supercomputer, Cray.inc. Key features: very fast, can do billions of calculations per second. Huge storage, can store and process massive amount of data. Large size, often fills entire rooms. Used for complex tasks like weather forecasting and space research. Powerful processors, thousands of processors work together. Expensive, costly to build and maintain. Check your memory. A computer is an electronic device that receives data as input, stores and processes it into meaningful information, and provides the required output. Some of the calculating devices used in the earlier times are abacus, Napier's bones, Pascaline, analytical engine, Mark I, ENIAC, EDUAC, and UNIVAC. Boolean algebra can express the output of an expression by the use of a simple concept of true or false. A computer is capable of computing anything by executing instructions known as programs stored on a tape. There are four basic types of modern-day computers: mini-computers, mainframe computers, and supercomputers. Microcomputers can be divided further into desktop, laptop, tablet, palm-top, and handheld computers.